Hey, this is Bryce Johnson from Expedition Bigfoot. You're listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey there, fellow zoners. You have found the Paranormal Zone, your weekly dose of all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself, the heavily medicated Mike Carbno, so much so that he's fondling his ghost balls already.
I am.
Yep, a couple seconds in. First thing that Mike says, he's going into convulsions right now, everybody.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. But
I had a ghost ball sitting here, and it just, I had to touch it.
He had to touch it. Yes, it was.
But anyway,
it was flickering.
Yes, I'm heavily. What's that?
Said it was flickering and shiny, so you wanted to fondle it.
It made me happy.
I'm
full of medication. I thought I was feeling better, and I feel guilty to all of our devoted, wonderful, crazy zoners that I whether I'm sick, I don't care if I'm dying right now.
Oh, come on now.
We were gonna do this and get out a good show.
Yeah, just since this isn't a live video feed, just so you all know, Mike is actually strapped to a gurney right now.
Yes.
There is an ambulance waiting outside just in case. And now I'm looking at Mike's keyboard. Now it's a jumbled mess, but that's what we're all about here at the Paranormal Zone.
Yeah, it's
on occasion, I should say.
I'm on the gurney, strapped down, the one that I got from the estate sale from Waverly.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Mike and I are both rip roaring, ready to go. This is a Saturday late afternoon, early evening.
I thought you were saying ready to go to the Sally House, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about our Sally House trek, which is coming up in 6 short days on the Patreon episode immediately following this episode.
Yes.
So we need to get some more Patreon content out there. It's been a weird month, man. I was sick. You've basically been sick the entire month, it seems like. And we haven't been as consistent as we usually are. We apologize, but we're doing our best. We're fighting through because as I jokingly described this on the twit, Mike, I said we were warriors. So
warriors, yes.
We were going to make this work.
I am the warrior.
And of course, I am joking. Neither of us are.
Warriors come out to play. Yay.
Hey, yeah, good one. Good one. That's from.
Anyway.
Oh, what the hell is that from?
The Warriors.
The Warriors, of course it is.
Love that movie. You can't get any better Michael Beck than that.
Well, that's true. And also, when you said that, it reminds me of my 80s metal fandom where I was a Twisted Sister fanatic back in the day. And they sampled one of those songs. They sampled that quote that
really?
Come out and play, because their album was called, guess what? Come Out and Play. So
yes.
One of their
albums. The one and only D. Snyder and his Animaniacs or whatever the hell they are.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's okay. But we are back, and we're going to do our best to bumble and stumble through this episode. It's a cool topic, I think. The title of this episode is Alien Reveal and UFO Conspiracies. So we're going to kind of throw together a mishmash of stuff here, but I mean, it's all related.
Something that's never been covered before.
Oh, yeah, never, ever at all. Or no, neither by us.
Yes,
so it's
correct.
We hate this topic. We never talk about aliens. We never talk about UFOs. Oh, Mike's dying again. There he is. So Mike's mute button better be on how do you want to call that? High alert.
I got it all oiled up and ready to go.
Ooh. Yep, oiled up next to his ghost balls. So it's all good.
And hey, and then I've got lotion in the box of Kleenex
And
too.
Kleenex, such a great sight right now, everybody. Man alive.
I don't have lotion, but it puts the lotion on. And
Don't kill yourself trying to do voices. I need you to
puts the
live.
lotion in the basket.
And he goes right back to it. And then he takes a sip.
Anyway.
Then he takes a sip of the soothing Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's a good one. I do have nice cold water here too, but
Yeah, I know.
anyway.
Yep, you're darn near ODing on the water intake, but that's good, man. When you're sick, you need to take lots of water. Well, you need to take lots of water every day, anyways. But
That's very true.
intake lots of water. Well, it's good to be back. The alien reveal and UFO conspiracies. Now, this was something that we actually decided on, I think, on Tuesday. And I was like, oh man, we got it set. We already got it set. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow. Then Wednesday comes. Can we make it Thursday? Yeah. Let's make it Thursday. Okay. Thursday comes. Can we go for Friday? Yep, let's go for Friday. Then just yesterday is like, how you doing, Mike? Do you need another day? Yep. And so that's just how it is, though, man. I totally get it. I totally understand. And hey, it'll be worth it, right? It'll be worth it.
Yeah, we're going into the cold season and cold and flu, and I hear on the news that stuff is hitting very hard, quickly, early this year.
Yeah. There's definitely nasty shit going around. So be on the lookout, everybody, and take care of yourselves.
Yeah. Don't get a bad cold or syphilis.
No, definitely not syphilis. I mean, if you do, if you have to choose, well, I won't make them choose.
Choose the flu.
Okay, where shall we start here, Mike? Oh, the reason that I chose this topic is because not last week, but I believe the week before, NASA released the names of the members of their newly appointed. Hold on. Let me look at my notes.
Yeah.
Professional notes here. Their UAP/UFO Phenomena Study Research Team. And I wanted to kind of dive into that a little bit and talk about it. And then that idea kind of slowly morphed into, hey, are they prepping us for the big reveal sometime, or are they doing the exact opposites?
Yeah, I wonder if there's some kind of, with all this reveal and these slowly letting out things, is there a different agenda to it? I don't know. It can go many different ways.
That's one of the things I was reading up on, Mike, in the ufologist community out there. Lots of, forums and, like I said, communities where people banter back and forth online. A lot of people who are into the UFO thing are very negative about this. They're basically saying this is a step backwards. They're basically just they're trying to hinder in all reality the research into this phenomena rather than with what's the word? Ostensibly they're doing what we want, as in people like you and I who are interested, but they are in fact doing the exact opposite. But
and
we'll banter back and forth about that.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they're it's like they're picking and choosing what they want to reveal, how they want to reveal it, and this whatever twist they want to put on it. I mean, like people that say, "Oh, look, I got this great video footage of this UFO." Well, who do you think can do even better CGI than probably the government?
I know. It's maddening. It really is.
And I'm not getting into this whole, the government, is just all this conspiracy, everything. But, maybe they have an agenda that makes sense is what they need to do. Mm-hmm. But, what we think of how we believe, it's like, it just doesn't seem right to us and not what we want.
Yeah. There's something that makes us a little leery. You know what I mean? Just a little leery.
Whether it's government or not, be leery.
I was, perusing the Paranormal Zone Facebook page again, like a couple of weeks ago, and I apologize to anyone who is interested in Facebook and follow us on Facebook because I am never on there. I never do anything I post the episode links, and that's about it and stuff. I'm not a big fan of the Book of the Face, but hey, if you guys interact though, I'll become a fan. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, there is some interaction on there. That we
Absolutely.
have some listeners that I love to keep in touch with on
Yes.
Facebook, and you know, the little that I do, which you know, we all know how that is. You know, I will just continue to do whatever.
I guess I'm more of a Twit fan. I'm on the Twit.
The twits fit where they will.
There they do. Hey, I like that. Yes, the twits fits. Or I fit the twit. I guess I don't know however you want to say that. But anyways, we digress. Shocking. I read a comment from Andrea Perrin, the wonderful,
Really?
awesome Andrea Perrin, regarding this NASA assembled team, and she basically said, "Well, what doesn't this defeat the purpose?" And she's referring to it's noted right there on the official statement that this team is going to, quote, focus solely on unclassified data. So she's like,
Really?
well, she goes, well, what basically is this going to do? You know, what good is this going to do? I mean, so you guys are going to go and study stuff that is already out there that we all know about and are aware of already? I mean,
Well, they better start unclassifying a lot of information.
Yeah, exactly. Are they referring to stuff that they are going to declassify, you know?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Declassify? I think it is.
Sure. Yes.
And, well, I shouldn't say and, but I totally understand what she's saying. It's like, well, maybe you guys should reveal just a wee bit more than stuff or maybe you should focus on stuff other than what we've already been exposed to. Because,
yeah. Well, you know, if they do, well, yeah. I'm trying to think of this. Okay, if the stuff that's already unclassified, which we do have been showing some really good footage, you know, of, you know, like the TikToks and everything, or Tic Tacs or whatever the hell they are.
Tic Tacs.
I
like
that. You know, if they work on that, and if they can come up with something, you know, if those are legitimate, and if they can come up with something that gives us some answers about those, you know, that will help, you know, because that's some pretty good Navy footage that there is, that's out there. And maybe it's a precursor to, like you're saying, like, you know, declassifying some more information that they can share, but they're going to pick and choose. You know, there's, you know,
yeah.
So,
and again, stuff like that, you know, it just adds more fuel to the conspiracy fire, you know.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be all in the middle of this conspiracy crap.
No, right. That's exactly what I was just going to say. You know, well, not exactly, but I was going to say something similar. I want to make that 195% clear that Mike and I are not into conspiracy crap at all. I mean, I'm like, I hesitated even putting the word conspiracies on the episode image, but you know, if you made it this far, I think you guys know that we're not, you know, wacko cuckoo who are just like into all the. You know,
and we have already been accused of being QAnon pawns.
That's right. I just
how that happened, I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, that was just ridiculous. How dare you guys, you know, spread this crazy QAnon conspiracy theories? What? That was the
I didn't even know what the hell
thing.
QAnon was.
I just couldn't believe
I had to look it up.
That came out of nowhere. I was like, holy cow, do you have to be careful of what you say? We could have been talking about...
That woman was angered by something. I don't know.
We could have been talking about, you know, your dead grandma or something, Mike, and they would interpret, you know, people might interpret it as we're promoting these whacked out conspiracy theories. But hey, they're out there and people are interested. And so I think it's fair for us to take a brief look at some of these UFO conspiracies. I
will admit that many years ago, and this, I have a hard time admitting to it, but because of I know that I'm innocent of any conspiracy thing now. I did used to listen to, God, I even put the word out, the name out, but Alex Jones. That guy is a certified nutcase. You talk about conspiracy, it's like everything is a conspiracy. Everything. And it's like, this guy, you know, I was listening and, listening to some of the stuff, it's mild stuff. I was like, well, I don't know, maybe. But then all of a sudden, you start hearing about the stuff that he gets really deep into. Yeah, don't get into Alex Jones. He's in a lot of trouble right now for, and going through court cases for his
Oh gosh.
shenanigans anyway. But yeah, very
Oh.
bad.
So I'm kind of like, so is he a how do I want to say it? Does he or did he is he involved in actual hoaxes himself, or is he just out there promoting all of this other junk?
He is. It's like he promotes and reports on every conspiracy and government cover up conspiracy, whatever that there probably is, and probably makes up crap along the way. I mean, it's it's pretty bad, very, very bad.
You know, we talked about this a long time ago. I believe it when we were still as the Alternate podcast, and I'll talk about this very briefly here because I don't want to stray from the topic. But it's
Right.
we talked about Bigfoot hoaxers and how much that just absolutely drives us insane. Like people like Tom Biscardi, you know, who are out there, they claim to be such scientific researchers, you know, and they want to, they want to get the word of, they want to promote the idea of legit scientific, research into this, but at the same time, they're out there just performing this ridiculous hoaxes. They're claiming that, I just shot Bigfoot and I'm going to have a news conference about it, but you have to pay me $50,000 or $500,000, blah blah blah, whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's talk about taking steps backwards, and all these subjects deserve serious, sincere scientific research.
Right.
And the more and more of this crap that comes out, the more and more it's the pushback occurs, because because that's the stuff that gets the news. That's the stuff that ends up on the news. And anyways, I don't want to go on a tangent.
People have to go out there, research themselves, study themselves, go out and lay in your backyard looking up at the clear night sky.
Oh,
watch for things, form your own opinion. And if you don't believe in it and if you think it's all bunk, hey, that's absolutely fantastic. But if you see something and in your heart and mind, it's like, now that really gives me the feeling that was not of this earth planet. Go with that, form your own opinions. Don't listen to these conspiracy theorists, or don't listen to whatever. Just form your own opinion, do the research. And I'm not coming down on conspiracy theorists. I mean, they have every right to do that too. You know how diplomatic we are.
I know to a fault. We're not, to a fault, I think sometimes, but that's okay.
We're just telling you, don't listen to them.
Right, exactly. They have every right to be crazy, whacked out guys and gals, and more power to them. We ignore them.
Yeah.
Except for this episode.
You're right, exactly. Except when we talk about it.
I know. So not only are we diplomatic, we're also hypocritics. Hypocritics.
Yes. Hypocritical conspiracy non-theorists.
I can't believe I can't believe I just said we were hypocritics. I wanted to say we're hypocritical. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah,
you had to do a vocabulary check on yourself.
Well, it's been a while, Mike. We're getting rusty. I swear we're getting rusty. But we'll be good. We'll be good. Hey, by the way,
I'm getting so rusty, my balls squeak.
Yuck.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mute your mic. Dang it. Oh, my Lord. Mike, when he sits there and he looks at his nutsack, that he reacts by, yeah.
Hey, it's the cold medicine.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I never mix cold medicine, Diet Coke.
No. I don't think that's ever been a doctor recommendation.
At the very least, you'll get a hole in your stomach. Anyway, let's carry on here. We got a great show ahead of us here.
So I wanted to get this out here real quick, though.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's right.
Right now we have a temporary. Well, I shouldn't say temporary. We have a new plan of attack when it comes to recording the podcast.
Yes. We are working on the consistency.
And just because we have 3 separate podcasts to juggle, I mean, we have this one, the flagship. We have the Patreon podcast, and then we also have Retro and Randoms, the pop culture.
Yeah, and don't you dare add another one on, or I quit.
Absolutely not. No, we're good. That's why that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that we've been having a blast at it, but we feel like we could be doing better, and we could add a little more quality, a little more time and effort to all 3 of them. So for now, we're going to try this out. I hope you guys don't miss us too much. Instead of our weekly, I'm doing the air quotes here, our weekly flagship podcast, which is this one, the one you're listening to right now, we are going to do that 1 week. The next week, the following week, we will do the Patreon. The following week, we will come back to the flagship. Then the week after that, we will do the retro and randoms, and then so on and so forth. So we want to put a lot of focus and energy into improving the quality of all of this stuff because, we love doing it. We're passionate about it. And we want to make it worth your time, especially, if you're a Patreon subscriber. Thank you so darn much. We want to make it worth your hard-earned money. I mean, if you haven't signed up for Patreon, we'd love to see you there. Exclusive content that just keeps growing and growing and growing. All things paranormal, strange, and mysterious, of course. And also the Retro and Randoms podcast. And you're going to get to see a lot of really cool, fun video and audio. Maybe creepy, who knows? Maybe it'll all be a farce. Maybe Mike and I will just capture audio of us falling down the steps at the Sally house. But hey, that's coming up next weekend. I can't believe that, Mike. Next Friday. We're already, 6 short days away. So looking forward to that.
Patrick is going to get that. I think he's going to actually get that literal slap in the face.
Oh, man.
Yes.
But like we said, though, we're going to save all of this Sally House talk for the Patreon exclusive coming up immediately after this one. All right, Mike, I want to pull up an article that I found from, guess where, NASA.gov, because I just want to go down the list of the members of this unidentified aerial phenomena study team. Okay?
Yes.
Sound good?
George W. Bush.
No.
Esper Weinberg.
That reminds me, for some reason when I was reading this, one of the guy's name, his last name was, I'm going to scroll down here real quick. Talk amongst yourselves, because I'm struggling to find his name. His last name is Mountain. His first name is Matt, but I read it as Man Mountain. And so I thought of a big, giant, hairy 1950s professional wrestler. And so I was
introducing in the right corner in the red shorts, Matt Mountain.
I know, Matt Mountain, the head of the UAP Research Team. And so I just started to envision all of these old-time professional wrestlers sitting on this council, and over in this corner, on the far left team representing NASA. Right now,
appearing in sleazy bars everywhere, November 19th.
We have Crusher Khrushchev, followed by the Mongolian Stomper, followed by the ghost of the late, great Bruiser Brody. Yeah, okay, anyways. It's good stuff. That's how my mind works every now and then. So I was laughing to myself earlier. You should have seen it. It was great.
I can imagine.
I should have filmed it and posted it on Patreon, right? Okay, the independent study will begin, or I should say, has begun this past Monday on October 24th, 2022. And over the course of the next 9 months, this independent study team will lay the groundwork for a future study. I'm saying this independent team will lay the groundwork for a future study, and that, of course, the way my mind works, that makes me think of a Monty Python sketch from years ago where a man was applying for a job. He wanted to be a part of an expedition, climbing mountains and all that stuff. And of course, when he asked for the details of said expedition. John Cleese, who was the man in charge and was in charge of the hiring process, he goes, and of course, as you know, the purpose of this year's expedition is to find any remnants of last year's expedition. So that sounded similar to me right now. This study will lay the groundwork for a future study. Good Lord. Anyways, I digress. The team will identify how data gathered by civilian government entities, commercial data, and data from other sources can potentially be analyzed to shed light on UAPs. What does that mean? Can potentially be analyzed? Just analyze it. You're NASA.
They stick each one crumbled up in a hat, and they pick them at random, and some might not get picked.
And those are the good ones, probably.
Yes.
This one has an actual picture of an alien flicking off the camera. Nope, we're not going to look at that one. That's no good.
Yeah. That alien looks too much like Donald Trump.
Sure, I guess. This, as we mentioned earlier, the study will focus solely on unclassified data, which seems just kind of weird. And a full report containing the team's findings will be released to the public in mid-2023. So next summer, we're going to get a release of their thorough study of unclassified data. Now, this is a quote from the Associate Administrator of the Science Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters. He says, exploring the unknown is in space and the atmosphere is at the heart of who we are at NASA. Understanding the data we have surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena is critical to helping us draw scientific conclusions about what is happening in our skies. Data is the language of scientists and makes the unexplainable explainable.
Says Neil deGrasse.
Yeah, sure. No, good old Neil deGrasse. Good old Neil deGrasse.
But okay, so this could be like another blue book or something. I mean, or it could be, okay, we're gonna put this team together. They're gonna dive deep like we did decades ago, and appease the American public with this surface investigation.
Yep.
The real investigation.
Yes.
Will be done without anybody knowing, done by a completely different team. And,
absolutely. Yeah.
Something like that could be happening too. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, what's the term that we're looking for here? Because what were the characters of Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd in Spies Like Us? Sincerely, they were like what were they called again? Not like a false operative, but they're, are decoys maybe, this is like maybe this group is the decoy group that keep us distracted.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and they got along so well during the filming of that, I'm sure.
I think they did. I thought that they liked each other. It was Bill Murray and Chevy Chase who didn't like each other back in the day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're friends now.
Everybody likes Dan Aykroyd, though.
Yep. I've never heard one person say a bad thing about Dan Aykroyd.
Yep.
And again, I just realized, I talk about being hypocritics. I said, no, we're not for conspiracies at all. But then I just threw out the idea this is a decoy team.
Yeah.
We're not suggesting that. We are not suggesting that. Good Lord.
No. Bill Murray, though, I hear more and more all the time how much of a dick he is.
Yep, absolutely.
Oof, Tafita.
Yeah, and it's not good. We're not just talking about him being a dick with being rough and tumble with his like male co-actors or anything like that. No,
sure.
He's apparently coming across as a dang. We're talking about harassment here with this guy.
Yeah.
So, ugh.
And Chevy Chase, I hear more about him all the time being such a dick.
Yeah, I think he's mellowed out. I think because he's going to be he's almost 80. I can't believe that. He just turned 79 like a month or two ago. So it's like, holy cow. Anyways, we're talking about alien reveal, and we somehow bring up Chevy Chase's age. So, pretty good.
Well, that's us. That's our shtick.
We
bounce like a bouncing rubber ball.
Okay, good.
A blue one.
The article further goes on, says unidentified aerial phenomena are of interest for both national security and air safety, and the study aligns with one of NASA's goals to ensure the safety of aircraft. Without access to an extensive set of data, there's that word again, data, it is nearly impossible to verify or explain any observation. Thus, the focus of the study is to inform NASA what possible data could be collected in the future to scientifically discern the nature of UAP. That's a lot of fancy way of writing stuff, or it's basically... go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
Well, how many decades ago was it that Truman assured all of us on television or on recording that these phenomena are not a threat to our national security, that we don't have to worry about them?
Are you thinking about Eisenhower? Or you?
I thought it was Truman that said that.
You might be right. I'm just thinking...
I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll skip that one here. Blah blah blah. Now, before introducing the members, it says here that NASA has brought together some of the world's leading scientists, data and artificial intelligence practitioners, aerospace safety experts, all with a specific, I hate that word, charge, which is to tell us how to apply the full focus of science and data to UAP. Blah 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 blah. Okay. David Spergel. Spergel. He has been selected to chair NASA's independent study. He is the president of Simons Foundation, where he is the founding director of its Flatiron Institute of Computational Astrophysics. Okay. Anna Maria Barea, associate professor of computational and data science of George Mason University. Federica Bianco is a joint professor at the University of Delaware in the Department of Physics and Astrophysics. Paula Bontempi, biological oceanographer for more than 25 years. Reggie Brothers, operating partner at AE Industrial Partners in Boca Raton.
Reggie Brothers. Okay.
Apparently that's a funny name. See, it made me lose track here, Mike. Okay, yeah. Operating partner at AE Industrial Partners in Boca Raton, Florida. Jen Buss, 2 S's, CEO of the Potomac Institute of Policy Studies in Arlington. Nadia Drake, freelance science journalist. Okay. Mike Gold, executive vice president of Civil Space and External Affairs. David Grinspoon. Now that's a better name to laugh at than Reggie Brothers. Grinspoon.
It wasn't even the last name that got me going. It was
just Reggie? What do you got against Reggie?
Not a thing. Absolutely not.
Grinspoon. That sounds like a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings name or something. I am Grinspoon, son of Grinspoon. He is a senior scientist at the Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona. Aforementioned Matt Man Mountain is the president of the Association of Universities for Research and Astronomy. Name that you might recognize, Scott Kelly, former NASA astronaut Scott Kelly.
There you go. Yes.
Now, no offense to any of these people, and it's not just because this is the only name I recognize. I'd take an astronaut's word over all these guys, probably.
Yeah. And they all sound like foreigners. No, I did not mean that.
Okay, I marked down that time.
Yeah, I know. No, hey, we are a country of foreigners, and I'm damn proud of it.
Warren Randolph, Deputy Executive Director of the Federal Aviation Administration's Accident Investigation and Prevention for Aviation Society Safety Department. Holy shit, that's a long title.
Instead of foreigners, I will say a worldwide representatives.
A smorgasbord, a potpourri.
Yes. Well, which makes sense. That's what is needed in something like this.
Yeah, don't worry. No one's listening to this.
No, I mean, I honestly mean that, though.
Let's see. Walter Scott, Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer at the Maxar in Westminster, Colorado. I'm just laughing. I can't believe you said that.
I know.
Trust me, everybody, as terrible as that sounded, Mike did not mean it to sound
right.
Or he meant nothing.
I could have worded it differently.
Yes, you could have, and I wish you did.
That's why I changed it to a worldwide representatives, which is, correct. I mean, this stuff is happening all over the world, so that is something that is needed. Every country should be represented.
Like you're just going to dig yourself a bigger hole.
Oh, good Lord, boy, it's up to my neck.
Okay.
Anyway.
Joshua Semeter, professor of electrical and computer engineering, as well as the director of the Center for Space Physics at Boston University. Carlin Toner, acting executive director of FAA's Office of Aviation Policy and Plans. And finally, Shelley Wright, an associate professor of physics at the University of California. So, pretty impressive list. Lots of probably highly paid and dutifully so. Very, very smart people on this.
And Mickey Rourke is coming along for the ride.
That's right, because there's a study in his face because they need to do it.
What the hell happened to Mickey?
They need to do a deep dive into maybe plastic surgery in space or something because good golly, Miss Molly, that guy. What has he done? Now, I want to follow that up with an article that I read.
A vat of hot lard.
Yeah, I don't know. Hot lard, even.
Oh, it's cold medicine's kicking my butt.
So this is another article that I found. I wanted to share this really briefly, very briefly. This is from NBC News, actually. The article was called Disclosure or Deception? New UFO Pentagon office divides believers. Now, this is almost a year old. This was when the announcement was originally made that NASA was going to appoint these members to this UAP research team. But I wanted to read a few things because when I read it earlier, I got kind of irritated because it's just the classic cynical tone to a lot of this stuff. You know, and it's just like, oh my gosh, can you just stop trying to sound like you're just so much better and so much smarter than everyone else. Okay, it starts off as the U.S. government is finally getting back into the UFO business. But
not as UFOs. They had to change the name even.
They did.
And what is the meaning behind that? There's something. It's like, that's such a simple thing, but
yeah,
there's even a reason behind that. It's like, I don't know. I know people have probably discussed that and had their own theories, but I don't know. It's just kind of strange.
Yeah, you either got unexplained aerial phenomena or unidentified flying objects.
Yeah.
So I mean, does the term flying suggest that it's propulsed or there's propulsion? What's the word, Mike? I can't think of the damn word.
Propulsion.
Yes. And whereas maybe unidentified flying or unidentified aerial phenomena maybe perhaps doesn't have mechanism
it puts it in a different
involved.
category. And objects is a very simple, kind of a mundane thing. Objects can mean anything in this entire universe.
Yeah.
Or world, whatever. But phenomena puts more of a unknown twist to it. It's like we don't know what it is so what makes it a phenomena. An object can be anything. It's
like you said, Mike. There's a reason behind that.
Yeah, there's little twists there. As little as it might be, there's something there. Yeah.
Depending on which UFO believer you ask, this is either an historic step forward to getting to the bottom of conspiracies, or a ploy to regain control of the narrative and possibly even prepare for, get this, interplanetary war. This is from NBC News, so that's something that we get irritated with as well and someone that we've talked about several times on the show before. We highly recommend his awesome documentaries, his programs, Dr. Stephen Greer. I know that
absolutely.
He gets so upset with this because it's always based in fear. They're saying, the aliens are coming and they're going to basically kill us all.
Well, yeah, for the last how many decades? Yeah, it's all a threat. If they wanted to kill us, they would have done it years ago. Like the people that it always comes down to that, and many people say that, and it's true. I mean, why would they wait? If there's something on this planet that they want, they could either just come and take it in the daytime and not worry about us, or get rid of us to take what they want, or whatever. I don't know.
We wouldn't be here talking about it. Let's put it that way. The establishment of this new office signed into law just before New Year's, this again 2021, to study unidentified aerial phenomena, has divided the loose community of activists, researchers, and our favorite term, pseudoscientists, who hunt for proof that we are not alone in the universe. Some also hail the legislation creating this new office tucked into, and this is details that you're probably bored with, tucked into Section 1683 of the Massive National Defense Authorization Act. They hail it for bringing new resources, rigor, and officialdom, is that even a word? Officialdom to the investigation of this phenomena. A potential national security threat that has long been stigmatized in a way that makes it difficult to study. Okay. I don't like how that was written. Potential national security threat, long been stigmatized in a way that makes it difficult to study. I guess I'm not getting it if this is a positive take on it or a negative one. That one kind of threw me for a loop. But this is a quote from a Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York. Our national security efforts rely on aerial supremacy, and these phenomena present a challenge to our dominance. I don't like how... Come on, politicians. It's important that we dominate. Mike, we need to dominate the skies.
Yes.
Just for security, though. Just for security. But in the meantime, we want to dominate.
Well, good luck with that domination.
Senator Gillibrand actually spearheaded this bipartisan measure. She goes on to say the United States needs a coordinated effort to take control, dominate and take control
Yeah.
and understand whether these
It's an American thing.
whether these aerial phenomena belong to a foreign government or something else altogether. Now,
Interesting.
since it's been decades, I have to fly through this, Mike, just so we can get to some discussion points here. Though it's been decades since Washington formally studied UFOs in any kind of comprehensive way, so one might expect the news will be cause for celebration among so-called ufologists. Again, negative tone right there, so-called ufologists. But the movement has long believed the government is covering up the greatest secret in history, so many are having a hard time believing the feds want to do anything other than clamp down again after several years in which it became socially acceptable for former presidents and CIA directors to talk publicly about weird things they had seen in the skies. What vibe are you getting from this article? Are you getting I'm getting a mix match here, or mishmash, or just like a both kind of, they can't help being snooty, but they're,
it's some of it seems like kind of like filler. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is filler for the podcast. I apologize. God damn.
Oh, no. I would read, but my voice wouldn't make it.
You don't think so? Okay.
Start coughing more.
Oh, by the way, right? They actually quote Dr. Stephen Greer at the very end of this article. It says, Dr. Stephen Greer, who retired from the emergency room to pursue the hunt for aliens as a self-described world's expert on UFOs, objects to the notion that UFOs should be treated as a national security threat. Yeah, okay, we kind of said that already. But they were, obviously this guy is talking about Dr. Greer in a flipping negative way. Did you hear that, Mike, before Macy bit your balls
Yeah,
off?
she's still going.
Oh, okay. Man alive. Get your ghost balls out. Distract her. Come on, Mike. Drop those pants. Get the balls out. Ghost balls, that is.
I heard her say squirrel between barks. Looking out the window.
But I'll reread that again, though.
Yes.
Because they refer to definitely snooty looking down upon it. Dr. Stephen Greer, who retired from the emergency room to pursue the hunt for aliens as the self-described world's expert on UFOs. So, yeah, there you go. But those are the two articles I wanted to, reference just so we can get the members' names out and kind of, the stuff is getting, again, it's one example of the coverage, media coverage and stuff, but man alive, media cannot help itself when it comes to quote unquote covering such things. They have to have that kind of a mocking, joking tone somewhere thrown in there, so.
And it's going to continue like that until something so drastic and definitive happens to change everything. It's just the way it's going to be.
So to wrap up this portion of the show, because we're running out of time here and we need to get to some of those crazy, wacky UFO conspiracies.
Yes.
Mike, where do you sit on this? Where do you straddle said alien UFO UAP reveal fence? Do you think this is all for the good? Do you think this is legit? Do you get a good vibe from it? Do you think that the government can't help itself and are trying to pull the shade over all of us again? You know what I mean? What vibe are you getting here?
I think it's there's a certain degree of seriousness to it. There's a certain amount of agenda to it, a certain amount of appeasement to it. Because every day, it's like you'll see or hear things, whether it's a commercial on TV or something. There is so much that's going on, and the belief in these things, and numbers of people that believe in these things is growing all the time, I believe. So the government's got to do something before it gets out of control. I mean, when everybody, if it gets to a point where so many people are starting to believe this and seeing things, the government's got to have some kind of agenda to control this, or to appease people, or to are they trying to control the masses by keeping us kind of like throwing us a bone every now and then type thing? Yes, keeping us at a particular level of appeasement, keeping us at a particular distance, perhaps. Don't let them know a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, and that's the way it's always been. And hopefully, as time goes by and
do you get the
people
vibe?
change.
I'm sorry, Mike. I totally
No,
jumped
go ahead.
over
Go
you
ahead. Go
there.
ahead.
Do you get any sort of vibe, any sort of feeling that if this is true, again, we're not promoting any crazy, wacky conspiracy, governmental conspiracy stuff. If they are throwing us that proverbial bone every now and then, just to kind of like satiate our appetite, but not letting us, but keeping us at that distance, do you feel like they are doing this out of benevolence more than malevolence, or is it for our own safety? Is it for our own good, Mike, for us little minions? Or are they protecting us?
There is that belief that, the world could just be utter chaos if it was, the truth was revealed, and all of the stuff that they're researching and putting this team, another team, this decade's team together of investigators and whatever.
Researchers, scientists.
Yes. God dang it! Now I lost my whole train of thought and where I was going with that, and it sounded damn good in my mind.
Well, I'll ask you again. Do you think that them throwing us again this proverbial bone is for our own good? Do you think that they're doing it out of benevolence more than malevolence?
Yeah,
if that is the case.
It's benevolent, I believe. Because there, what malevolence can there be out from it? I don't know. I mean, maybe there is, but I can't figure it in my head. But I think also possibly that everything that they are saying that they're researching, trying to figure out, get information on, they already know about it.
Yeah.
And they are choosing how to let that out. And it's going to be a trickle at a time. I mean, this, the Tic Tac film footage and what the Navy, is being really, showing so many different footage and everything. It's being put out at their speed, maybe at a safe level.
It's at their discretion for sure.
At their discretion, at their control. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's, man, I my hands are up in the air. Really, I would like to think that this is all. Well, gosh, this is tough. I want to word this correctly, but again, just quoting that, Senator Gillibrand's words there, just dominance, control, how
exactly
it's for the world's best that, and again, I'm not some crazy, wacky, anti-American by any means. I love my country. I'm also not.
Absolutely.
I'm also not on the far extreme of that either, where I'm like a jingoist. Where I'm just everyone else in the world.
What?
Jingoist. Jingoism. You're the extreme patriot where you just hate everyone who isn't an American type thing.
I thought all I could picture in my mind is Patrick doing some kind of a strange dance in his underwear in his living room, going jingo, 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 jingo.
Ooh, that's a Patreon idea right there. I could do that. But this, I just didn't like how that was phrased. It's, we need to, America needs to dominate in order to protect the world. Well, we got news for you. A lot of the world doesn't like America, and
exactly.
So how do you think that comes across as? It's like, well, we don't want you to have
exactly.
control.
There's a lot of this world that can't figure out what's wrong with America. Why are they doing things the way they are?
Yeah, and that's a whole other trek down a discussion that we try to avoid.
Yeah, and the thing is that whatever they are doing, I don't see it as something that's gonna, it's gonna be harmful or killing anybody or destroying things. Right now we just need to write it out. I mean, what else can we do?
Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're keeping our fingers crossed that this is all positive.
Exactly, like we have for years, and how for decades we have. And and plus I like to think that there are people in these ranks that are low ranking right now that are working their way up in the ranks, where someday these juniors are going to be high execs in the government, and they have a whole different way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Good
it's
point.
like, you know, another generation of people that are like, you know, when I get up there, I'm working my way up to the top. And when I get up there, the things are going to be different. And we can hope for that too.
Well, Mike, you know, a lot of the negative viewpoints of, you know, UFO and UAP and even, you know, aliens, for gosh sakes, you know, we're still struggling to come out of like the 1950s viewpoint of this stuff, you know, kind of
right.
like the
attack of the 50-foot woman.
Yeah, okay, paranoia. That's
War of the
basically what it
Worlds
was.
from the 30s.
And so that's you know, 70, 80 years ago, and it hasn't been totally eradicated, you know. We're still
Exactly.
a big chunk of the population, of the world population, who looks at it as like, you know, they don't
It's
like
totally
that.
fear-based, yeah. Just fear.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Well, again, gosh, we could go on forever about. We need to get into some of these wacky, weird, wild stuff here on the show that doesn't like talking about conspiracies. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to go down a list of UFO conspiracies here.
It reminds me, when you said that weird, you know, that Johnny Carson little thing there.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a clip of him doing something in his monologue about UFOs, and
His monologue.
I can't remember. Yeah, like before he, you know, at the beginning of the show.
I could have said no. I thought you said monologue. So
oh yeah,
his monologue. Mike's meds are kicking in right now.
They are, but he said something about I can't. It's just, you know, paraphrasing, but the joke kind of went, what would he do if he saw a flying saucer or whatever? And then his answer was UFO. Yeah, something like that. I totally butchered it, but yeah, you get the point.
I get the point. Yeah. You don't have nearly as good delivery as Johnny had, but that's okay.
No, never.
Not many people ever will. The article I found here, just to get through this fairly quickly, expediently, expeditiously. Chronology of UFO conspiracy theories. First one that we got here is from 1949. It's listed as the Winchell and the Soviets, or I should say Winchell and the Soviets. It is referring to Walter Winchell.
I was just going to say it's got to be Walter Winchell.
On April 3rd, 1949, radio personality Walter Winchell, during the broadcast, they said the claim that had been, oh, good Lord. Backing up. Beep, 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 beep. On April 3rd, 1949, radio personality Walter Winchell broadcast the claim that it had been definitively established that flying saucers were guided missiles fired from Russia. In response, the Air Force denied any such conclusion. The Air Force reportedly requested an FBI investigation into Winchell's claims, a request that was denied. Now, Mike, you said like they got to be referring to Walter Winchell, so you're right. Familiar with this man and this conspiracy.
I've never heard of the story, but you know, a lot of people have heard of Walter Winchell, the famous Walter Winchell,
radio personality. Again,
yes.
Man, when you have, especially back in the day, if you were a radio personality, you had power and influence.
Yes, you did. Absolutely.
Every little
and
thing
he was one that did.
Yeah. Again, we're flying through this as quickly as we can. Kehoe and the Air Force knowledge of UFOs. On December 26th of the same year, 1949, True Magazine. Are you familiar with True Magazine?
Yes.
True Magazine published an article by Donald Kehoe titled...
Yeah, very big name in that field.
Titled, "The Flying Saucers Are Real." Kehoe, a former major in the U.S. Marines, claimed that elements within the Air Force knew that flying saucers, existed and had concluded they were likely interplanetary. The article went on and also examined the Mantell UFO incident.
Yeah, very interesting.
Quoted an unnamed pilot who opined that the Air Force explanation, quote unquote, looks like a cover-up to me. The Gorman dogfight and the Chiles / Whitehead, I don't know how to pronounce that one. The Gorman dogfight and the Chills-Whitted UFO encounter were also described. I'm not familiar with that one at all. The article cited a supposed report from Air Materiel Command and claimed a rocket authority at Wright Field had concluded saucers were in fact interplanetary. Concern over a public panic of the kind that was supposedly occurred that supposedly occurred after the 1938 broadcast of the War of the Worlds was also cited in the article as a possible motive for the cover-up. We've talked about that several times. Don't let them panic. Can't let this stuff out. Everyone's gonna die of heart attacks. They're gonna freak out. Citing historic sources, Kehoe went on and speculated that similar sightings have likely occurred for at least several centuries. And the article caused a sensation, sold over 500,000 copies, blah, blah, blah. And of course, in March 1950, the Air Force denied that flying saucers existed and further denied that that there were U.S. technology being covered up.
Well, and you got to figure too that, at this time in the 50s and 49, 50s, early 50s, whatever, these are precursors, and then getting into the beginning of working its way into like the Cold War. I mean, there's things that the United States is working on and Russia was working on, and things we're seeing that they're working on. The alien thing could be a cover up for actual government military projects. I mean, that's been theorized plenty, for years too. But you got to remember this time in this era that was going on, and this stuff was going on. It was huge into that. I mean,
oh gosh, obviously I wasn't alive, Mike. You weren't alive during the height of the Cold War, but if you
I was a Cold War soldier.
Just even if you have a modicum of
in the
knowledge
80s.
of history and stuff, that the 1950s, it was talk about tense relations, man. It was the threat of nuclear war was there every day. It was between the superpowers, Russia and America. It's like who's going to basically take over the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of this UFO stuff, a lot of this UFO/UAP stuff could have been used on both sides as, maybe methods of attack, methods of defense. Again, you keep everyone at a safe distance. But I'd seen you had a brain fart earlier, Mike. I just had a brilliant thing. The smartest thing that I was ever going to say in the history of this podcast. I had it, and then it just disappeared. It drained out of my nostrils.
I hate that.
It's now on the floor. So I'm going to step
in
on
many
it.
pieces.
Many pieces. So I apologize for that one, everybody. Again, we're rusty. We're just getting back into the groove of stuff. Getting back to some of these alleged conspiracies, Scully and the alien bodies. In October and November 1949, damn, busy year that year for conspiracies. Journalist Frank Scully published 2 columns in Variety, of all places, claiming that dead extraterrestrial beings were recovered from a flying saucer crash based on what he said was reported to him by a scientist supposedly involved.
That was before Scully and Mulder got together.
Yeah, not that Scully. Yeah. This is a different Scully.
Yeah.
Wasn't that an influence for Scully's last name in
could be, very well could be,
In his 1950 book Behind the Flying Saucers, expanded on the same theme, adding that there had been 2 such incidents in Arizona and 1 in New Mexico. A 1948 incident that involved a flying saucer that was supposedly 100 feet in diameter. In January 1950, Time magazine skeptically, say that 5 times fast, skeptically repeated stories of crashed saucers with humanoid occupants. Then finally, it was later revealed that Scully had been the victim of 2 veteran confidence artists. In 1952 and 1956, True magazine published articles by San Francisco Chronicle reporter John Philip Kahn that purported to expose Newton and Dr. G as oil con artists who had actually hoaxed Scully. So there's a conspiracy to debunk the conspiracy, Right. it's such a muddled mess with some of these things.
Yep. Well, and that's, the muddled mess is, they like that too, because it keeps people not knowing what's right and what's wrong. And it's just one big mess.
It sounds a lot like the Paranormal Zone.
Yeah.
We are purposefully a muddled mess because we don't want to definitively opine about anything. We don't want to get our steadfast beliefs out there. We just jumble all of our thoughts and opinions into an hour-long mess, and we leave it up to you to decipher our podcast language. Right, Mike?
That's right.
No,
I didn't hear what you said. I totally blew it off, but yeah, you're correct.
Mike's literally leaning on his microphone right now.
I was trying to breathe at that moment.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but yeah.
Quickly. The keyhole. We already talked about the flying saucer, keyhole flying saucer. Carl Allen and the Philadelphia experiment. Oh yeah, Mike. That's a great.
Love that
topic.
story.
Gosh, I hate it. We just have to fly through this stuff. Al Chop and the true story of flying saucers. Interesting. Edward Ruppelt and the report on unidentified flying objects. Guys, you need to trust us and go. We're literally running out of time. We're just at an hour here in case we need to make time for Patreon. So I apologize for being a jumbled mess this time. But go, you can find all this stuff online. Just type in UFO conspiracies. Look into them. Judge for yourself.
And keep your eye on the sky, as they say.
Keep your eye on the sky. There's that word right there, propulsion, that I couldn't say earlier today. Good God. Project Magnets. Ever heard of Project Magnet, Mike? That was a small. It was a small Canadian government UFO research effort.
Yeah, they had this empty room, and they had equipment in it, but the main equipment was like a large refrigerator, and they had magnets on it that said different things from like from different vacation spots and Cancun and things like that. Souvenirs you could. Never mind.
No, I encourage you to keep going.
No, I'm done.
Mike's like, I want to quit. I want to quit.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm Macy.
Macy needs to
having
chill
fun
too.
in the kitchen.
Well, I hope this has been a kind of okay episode, but we do have to wrap it up so we have time to record the Patreon episode.
One quick thing before we go any further.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike.
One of our wonderful listeners, supporters, and great people, Pandora Blackthorn, has recently had a birthday. I want to say happy birthday to her.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Pandora. Happy birthday, Pandora. Yeah, awesome friend of the podcast. We need to get her back on the show, man.
Yes, we do.
I know she's listening, so let's keep in touch and let's get you back on here. Pandora's Dark Carnival podcast. I believe she's going to start recording.
I listened to one. I
Yeah.
listened to one, and it was awesome. And she awesomely plugged us very well.
Awesome. There's that word. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if she's back into doing them again because she was, they taking a break while they were moving, having a big move and everything. So I haven't noticed if she's gotten back into that yet or not, but looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it.
Highly recommend.
And again, Pandora, you're listening. I know you are. Tell your awesome husband. There's that word again. Awesome. That I have not forgot about his request to work on that art project of his. I have fallen out of my artistic. I go through those spats, Mike, where I'm just bam, 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 bam. I just fire off pieces of artwork, and hopefully they're okay. And then I just go into a.
I know that exact feeling. I had that for years, and now I have this wonderfully started portrait of Annalise in her death throes, just sitting here talking to me at nighttime.
Work on me.
Finish me.
Yeah, I know,
Dream
man.
about that.
Well, that was an idea for for a Patreon perk is request. Well, I shouldn't say request. What's the word I'm looking for? Commissioned artwork. If you guys have requests of any sort of stylized original artwork that you would like us to work on, and you're a Patreon member, we're more than happy to do that, man. We'll get some artwork done for you guys if you're interested. Help spread the Patreon word, though. That helps. Crazy enough as that sounds, it helps. Mike's frozen. I'm frozen.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Anyways, this episode may have sucked, but it might have been okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they got to let us know.
They got to let us know. Only let us know if it was good.
Yeah. Patrick can't handle the negative stuff.
No, I can handle it. I can handle it, but not really.
And Patrick cries real ugly, so I don't want to see that.
I know. Well, you might see it at the Sally House. You never know. Well, with that, Mike, looking forward to the Sally House trek. The next time we record an episode for the flagship, this podcast, we shall be returning from we will have already returned from our triumphant venture to the Sally House, and hopefully we'll
Hopefully
have some,
triumphant.
yeah, hopefully we'll have some exciting news, and
Hopefully
maybe,
Patrick comes back with some scars on his back.
well, and hopefully Mike doesn't drive like a maniac on the way there, and I don't die of a
No.
heart attack while clutching the side of his door, and just, if I could wear 9 seatbelts, I would.
Yeah. My fingers turn white because he's holding my hand and squeezing too hard.
Nope. I wouldn't be doing that. I'd probably have my head out the window just so I can breathe and I don't
It's
hyperventilate.
flapping like a dog in the wind.
Anyways, all right, Mike. This has been fun though. It's good to see you.
Yes.
Let's dive right into the Sally House track for our Patreon subscribers. Again, we love all you guys. We highly encourage you to check out the Patreon episodes. The Patreon content is actually pretty darn cool, if we may say so ourselves. It's better than this stuff. Better than this episode you got right now. We'll put it that way. Mike, until next time, what do our awesome paranormal family members need to do?
As always, peace out.